Okay, now, there we go. Sorry about that. My mic was not working. OBS was not picking up my mic, but there we go. Okay. Hello, 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 everybody. So, tonight we have, of course, some more Fate Stay night. We are on the last day of Unlimited Blade Works. It does appear to be a bit of a busy day, as you can probably expect, due to being the last day and all. Hopefully we'll be able to get through all of it in this one night. I'm going to try to. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? Unlimited Blade Works, Day 16. I turn off the lights in my house. It's 4 in the morning. With dawn still a few hours away, we leave the Emiya household. Everything is arranged already. There's nothing to talk about now. We just need to go to battle and fulfill our roles. There's no guarantee that we'll come back alive. No, that has been the case all along, but there's less of a guarantee this time. That's why I'm carefully turning off all the lights. There's someone standing in the yard. The golden-haired girl is just standing there, looking up at the night sky.
Oi! 何してるんだ、セイバー。
空を見ていました。それと、この家を。
Her reply is gentle. She is looking at the house with an expression different from the first time I met her.
いろいろありましたから、ずっと覚えていられるように、心に焼き付けておきたかった。
It is the voice of one prepared not to return.
そっか。できればずっと覚えていてくれ。
I make a clumsy wish from the porch.
はい。では私からもお願いします。あなたたちは私が守る。ですから必ず二人でこの家に戻ってください。
ああ、必ず戻るよ、ここに。
That's all I can manage to say. We're going to destroy the Holy Grail. At the same time, Servant Saber will be returning to her original place. Even if I want her to stay here. And even if Saber is attached to this house. As long as she is a servant, she cannot go against the law. Hello, copy-paster. Welcome, welcome.
ちょっと、そこ何してんのよ。時間がないんだから急ぎなさいよね。
A voice urges us from the entrance. Tosuka must be waiting at the gate, ready to go.
では、シロ。
ああ、決着をつけに行こう、セイバー。
I turn off the last light and leave the house with Saber. A quiet night. The illusion of the girl staring up at the stars is still lingering in the yard. The plan goes like this. Saber will head into the Ryudo temple from the front while Tosuka and I sneak in from the back. Saber will enter before us, so that she can get Gilgamesh's attention. We will use that opening to sneak in, quickly destroy the Holy Grail, and go help Saber. I'll keep Gilgamesh at bay by projecting his noble phantasms, allowing Saber to finish him off. That is the only plan we have. It is a path that you can barely call a road. Tosuka must have researched it beforehand, as she goes up without hesitation. At night, the mountain is dark and ominous. It is natural for the sacred mountain to reject people. The dark mountain is threatening, but it is an embodiment of the pure gods at the same time. But...
心情じゃないわね、これ。生臭すぎて吐き気がする。
Tosuka stares up at the summit where the Ryudo temple is. Smelling bloody is just a phrase Tosuka used. There is no smell of blood coming from the mountain. It just feels strange. The air is damp and it sticks to the skin like a membrane. The place is suffused with a life force so strong that I can't tell if the breathing I hear is mine or the mountain's. I feel like I'm climbing up a big, living organ rather than a mountain.
今更だけど、シロ、体の調子はどう?
Then, Tosuka suddenly asks me such a question.
いや、調子はいいんだが、悪いというか、正直持て余してる。
I honestly tell her. I can easily project dozens of weapons with this amount of magical energy. But it's like having a jet engine inside of a worn-out plane, so the fuel might leak out and explode if I let my guard down.
うわ、贅沢な悩みね、それ。けど、ちゃんと成功してよかった。初めてだったから心配だったのよ。
心配？もしかして。
家庭じゃなくて、その後の話よ。シローに分ける魔力とセイバーに取られてる魔力のバランス。2人分の掛け持ちなんだから、セイバーの出力が落ちてるのはわかるでしょ？
そうか。そうだよな。じゃあセイバー、思うように戦えないのか？
あのね、甘く見ないで。そんな不手際はしないし、セイバーに比べたらシローに分ける魔力は小さいからなんとかやっていけるわ。ただ無理は効かないの。今のセイバーは1回しか聖剣を使えない。
聖剣が一度しか使えない？
Then we can't use the holy sword against Gilgamesh. Saber's noble phantasm has to be saved to destroy the Holy Grail.
じゃあセイバーは切り札を封じたままでギルガメッシュの足止めをするのか？
ええ。だから少しでも早く合流しないとまずいわ。セイバーがギルガメッシュを止められないと判断した場合、聖剣を使うようには言ってある。けど、そうしたらセイバーに後はないの。セイバーの聖剣でなければ聖杯は壊せない。だからその時は。
My breathing stops. In short, she will have to use her holy sword at the cost of her existence.
トサカ、それは。
仕方ないでしょ。これはセイバーが言い出したことなんだから。私が止めたって彼女は聖杯を壊すわよ。
Tosuka murmurs as she looks away. Damn, how stupid of me. It must be hard for Tosuka as well. Tosuka doesn't want Saber to disappear either. Then...
急ごう。ギルガメッシュにセイバーは渡せない。
当然よ。私のセイバーだもの。あんな奴に殺させないわ。
We run. We know what we have to do. We know we have to stop the Holy Grail as fast as we can and go settle the match with Gilgamesh. Interlude 16:1. The mountain is rumbling. The sky is filled with dark clouds, and the trees are rustling as if shivering with fear. She watches it all at the entrance to the mountain gate. She understood that the Ryudo temple was poisoned the instant she approached it. The golden servant isn't the only one waiting for her at the top of the stairs. Something strange is waiting for her. She cannot afford to make a mistake. If the mountain is a place of death, then she will draw all the risk to herself. She wants the other two to make it out alive. She cannot hold anything back. She can only use her holy sword twice. She understands that she will disappear the instant she activates the holy sword for the second time.
構わない。元より捨て身でなくてはかなわぬ相手だ。
The King of Heroes, Gilgamesh. She cannot think of anything else but to use the holy sword against that man with 1,000 noble phantasms.
じゃあセイバー、30分経ったら始めて。
She recalls Rin's words. It is only 1 more minute until the appointed time. She breathes out and sets her condition. Wind blows down from the mountain top. The instant the trees shiver against the evil wind, she starts up the stone steps. She runs up in a flash. Her attack must have been detected the instant she stepped onto the stairs. The last servant should appear at the temple. She will get to him as quickly as possible so she can defeat him before Shiro and Rin arrive. She cannot disobey her master's order. She started off after waiting 30 minutes, just as Rin ordered. Even if she arrives at the temple before Rin expects her to, she is not going against Rin's order. It is just that she will protect her master's life, and go against Rin's expectation as a result. If the thing leaking out from the mountain is pollution, Saber is a raging wind that blows the pollution away. It should not take her a minute to get to the top. She will be 5 minutes faster than what Rin is expecting. She can end her fight against Gilgamesh in that time. She runs, enduring the mountain's chill. The silver armor shoots up to the temple like a bullet. And when she finally reaches the mountain gate, her feet, which should not stop, come to an unexpected halt. Sweat runs down her forehead. She looks up at the mountain gate in astonishment.
待っていたぞ。よくぞ間に合ってくれた、セイバー。
An elegant voice echoes through the night. Moonlight glints off the long sword. On the stairs leading up to the mountain gate stands an enemy who should not exist.
Asashi.
There is no elegance in Saber's voice. An enemy that should not be there, an obstacle that should not exist. She cannot be calm in the face of these surprises.
どうしたセイバー。私がいるのがそれほど不思議か。私はここの門番だとお前は承知しているはずなのだが。
His pleased voice is calm and composed. The swordsman is acting casually, even... Oops.
なぜここにいるアサシン。あなたはキャスターが呼び出したサーバントだ。キャスターが消えた今、あなたがとどまっているはずがない。
Ah! The swordsman is acting casually, even with the evil wind swirling about. Why are you here, assassin? Caster summoned you. You cannot exist since Caster is gone.
通常のサーバントならばそうであろう。だが、私はちと特殊でな。この身を縛っているのは人ではなく、この土地なのだ。お前たちがマスターと呼ぶよりしろ。私にとっては、それがこの山門ということになる。
土地がよりしろだと。
うん。いかに魔術師といえど、実体を持たぬサーバントにサーバントは維持できぬ。サーバントのよりしろは、この時代のものでなければならぬらしい。女狐は私を呼び出し、よりしろにこの土地を選んだ。故に、私はこの山門にのみ出現するサーバント。召喚者であるキャスターが滅びたところで、この山門がある限り消えることはない。もっとも、それも日雇いに過ぎんがな。女狐が私に与えた魔力はおよそ20日分。その限度がいつか、お前ならば見て取れよ。
Saying so, the swordsman raises his right hand. Inside his elegant kimono, his white arm is transparent like glass.
アサシン、あなたは。
見ての通り、夜明けまで持たぬ身だ。 20日の刻限などとうに過ぎている。ここまで持ちこたえたことこそ行幸と言えよ。
She looks up at the swordsman in astonishment. Neither enmity nor murderous intent is emitted from his sword. He just wishes for a fight. He is demanding a meaningless battle.
では私と戦うために残ったというのですか、アサシン。
言わせるな、セイバー。口にすればつまらぬ言葉になり下がる。
He laughs. She can understand how he feels, but she does not have the time right now. The other two will make it in time for the battle unless she hurries. No, in the worst case, they will reach the temple to face Gilgamesh even before she does.
そこをどけ、アサシン。あなたに門番を命じたキャスターは消えた。もはや門を守る意味などあるまい。
Saber asks while she takes a step forward. But
いいな。もとより私に戦う意味などない。
Assassin points his sword at Saber, saying that he will start the fight if she comes any closer.
そう、戦う意味などない。私には初めから何もないからな。英霊としての誇りも望むべき願いもない。いや、そもそも私が呼び出されたこと自体が間違いなのだ。何しろこの身は佐々木小次郎などではない。
Saber's confusion reaches its limit. Sasaki Kojiro. It should be the true identity of this servant, but Assassin himself said that he is a fake.
そう驚くことでもあるまい。佐々木小次郎というものはな、もともと正体のない架空の剣士なのだ。実在したとされるが、記された記録はあまりに不鮮明。ある剣豪の敵役として都合が良い過去を捏造された人々の記録だけで剣豪とされた人物だ。確かに佐々木小次郎という男はいただろう。物干し竿と呼ばれる長刀を持つ武芸者もいたはずだ。だがそれらは一個人のものではない。佐々木小次郎という剣士は引き立て役としてのみ作られた架空の武芸者であったはずだ。
架空の英霊ですが、あなたは。
そう、佐々木小次郎だ。佐々木小次郎というからそれを被るに最も適した剣士が私というだけの話だ。私に名などない。読み書きなど知らぬし、名前を持つほど余裕のある人間ではなかった。私はただ記録にある佐々木小次郎の秘剣を披露できるという一点で呼び出された亡霊だ。偽りのサーバントであるこの身は長くは持たぬ。故にキャスターも使い捨てとして扱った。そら意味など初めからないだろう。たとえここで偉業を成したところで報酬はすべて佐々木小次郎に与えられる。私には何も返ってこない。無である私にとってあらゆることは無意味だ。この身は自分すら定かではない。佐々木小次郎という役柄を演じるだけの名のない使い捨ての剣士に過ぎぬ。
His long sword wavers. The fictional swordsman created by a fictional story blocks her way as if to fulfill his role.
だがその私にも唯一意味があるとすれば、それは今だ。無名のまま死んでいった私にもし望みがあったとしたら。
He must have dreamed of a match with a superior swordsman who he could not have been allowed to witness as a nameless swordsman.
アサシン。
she readies her sword. She cannot convince her enemy. The only way she can answer the swordsman who is prepared for his death is to fight him.
では始めよう。なに、元より花と散る好み。その最後をそなたで迎えられるのであらば、これ以上の幕はあるまい。
His long sword moves. Saber's sword repels the strike like moonlight. His long sword wavers. She cannot match Gilgamesh if she uses up her powers here. But she cannot afford to hold back. No, she does not know if she can win, even if she uses all her powers. His long sword gets more fierce with each blow. A fictional swordsman. A swordsman who can match a heroic spirit without a noble phantasm. She must settle her match with him right here and now. Interlude out. The mountaintop is near. We'll reach the back of the temple once we climb up this mountain. I think there's a big lake there.
見えた。あともう少し。
Tosaka pushes her way through the branches and runs up the hill. I keep watch on our surroundings as I follow behind Tosaka. And so, it greets us the instant we make our way from the hill onto level ground. A lump of meat is wriggling around. The thing in the middle of the lake spews out black blood and shakes as if asking for help. How big is that thing? Already as big as an island, the pile of flesh is slowly expanding. The clear water is now dirty and sticky like coal tar.
嘘だろ。あれが聖杯だっていうのか。
I avert my gaze, unable to stare directly at it. The air on this mountain is that thing's breath. The infinitely flowing magical energy is making that lump of meat explode, and the black blood is polluting the lake. The blood isn't just colorless energy. The black thing is a visible curse. Just looking at the black mud gives me chills. The curse seeps into my brain through my eyes, ordering me to die. And that is all. Die, 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 die.
聞いてないぞ。あんなのどうやって。
Stop such a thing. The distance is about 30 meters. The lake is shallow, and it'd be easy to walk in it. But it's suicidal to go into that mud. Just looking at the curse is almost enough to knock one unconscious. I'll weaken and sink into the mud if I walk a meter into it.
あれ、破裂寸前よ。元からああいう形なのかどうかは知らないけど、器があんまりにも小さすぎたんでしょうね。中のものを抑えきれず、器を壊して溢れ出ようとしてる。
器を壊すって、それは。
神事が聖杯になってるなら神事を壊すってことでしょうね。ほら見える？あの山の奥、なんか人型らしきものがあるでしょ。シローなら確認できると思うんだけど。
I look where Tosaka is looking. Within the expanding pile of flesh, I certainly see something shaped like a human. He looks like he's been crucified. His clothes have been torn off, leaving him naked. Visible against his skin, the blood vessels writhe like centipedes, connecting him to the meat. It looks bizarre, as if grapevines took a human form.
神事？顔は見えないけど、あの背格好は間違いない。
Now, Shiro. See, this is why I say Shinji is his bitter ex. Shiro, what does that...
そうで生きてる
I can't tell. He's not dead, but I'm not optimistic enough to say that he's alive in that condition.
息はある。体だってまだ。
I can't even say that he has human limbs in a way.
やっぱりねもともと今回の聖杯は人型だったなら人間っていう部品を利用して動かすってことでしょシンジは合わないからああなったみたいだけど基本的に聖杯は宿主に生きていてもらわないと作動しない
けどあれは破裂寸前なんだろう。核になっている神事を壊すって。
それは仕方なくよそうなったら聖杯も何もないただ聖杯によって開けられた穴からあの得体の知れないものが溢れてくるだけだから逆に言えばまだ間に合うわ聖杯は起動しているけど願望機っていう本来の姿になってなければ壊れてもいないあの金ピカは穴だけを開けるって言ってたでしょあいつの目的は聖杯を起動させて器だけ壊すことなのよそうすれば
今みたいにあの得体の知れない泥が際限なく溢れ出てくる。
There's no time to think. We have to pull Shinji out of that thing and stop the Holy Grail.
トサカ、あの泥なんとかできるか。凍らせちまえば上を歩けそうだけど。
無理ただの水ならいけるけどあれはもう呪いに加工された魔力なのよ形になった魔術を凍らせるなんてそんなの氷結専門の術者で難しいわ
そうかならあと
I guess I'll just have to pray and run through it. I'll cross the lake before I get cursed and bring back Shinji. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Shiro.
そのままで行く気無理よあなたじゃいいとこ真ん中で飲み込まれるってば
やってみなくちゃわからないだろう。もう時間がない。セイバーも今頃あいつと戦ってるはずだ。ここで躊躇している暇は。
I quickly turn, moving to protect Tosaka.
これは驚いた。まさか三度もその不出来な顔を見るとはな。雑種。
A laugh. He appears here as if he knows of our plan.
キルカメッシュ嘘なら誰と戦ってるのよセイバーは
It seems Saber is fighting someone from what Tosaka is saying, but I can't tell who she's fighting, nor how she's faring. No, this isn't the time to be thinking about such things. The one before us is the worst possible enemy. He's the strongest servant, the one the three of us had planned to beat together. But only Tosaka and I face him now.
なんセーバーは不在かつまらんそれではただ殺すだけか
Coldness emanates from the sea of mud, and the man before me gives off a murderous intent. He already has the noble phantasms ready behind him. I'll be skewered the instant I carelessly take a step forward.
いやそれでは芸がないな本来なら有無を言わせぬが今回は特別に許すせっかくの客だそのせいにわずかばかりの猶予をやろう
猶予だと
I clench my fist as I glare at the enemy. My magic circuit is open. I manage to form 14 blueprints in my head. I'll reproduce his swords once he clicks his fingers. I should be able to let Tosaka escape.
なんだ言われなくてはわからんのか眉が帰るまでの数分そこでかかしになるがいいあれも見届ける者が俺だけでは寂しかろうこの行く末を最後まで見届けるというのならそのせいにも意味がある
I can't listen to him. Our goal is to stop the Holy Grail. If we can still make it, we have to get Shinji back.
そうかよ。悪いがこっちは。
あんたの言いなりになんてならない。今すぐあの日会に行ってあんたの聖杯を止めてやるわ。
Then, Tosuka glares at Gilgamesh from behind me.
ほう
He grins. He smiles like that when he decides to kill the one in front of him.
待て、トサカ、それは。
シローはここであいつを止めて。無茶だって分かってるけど、セイバーが来るまでなんとか持ちこたえて。シンジは私が責任を持って引っ張り出してくるから。
引っ張り出してくるって、お前。
分かってるわよ。あんなんでもさくらの兄貴だし、見殺しにはできないもの。それに助けられるのなら助けるのがシローの心情でしょ。
Tosuka runs to the Black Lake. Is she going to go into that mud?
なんだその滑稽さは。俺を笑い死にさせるつもりか、貴様ら。
He laughs, as if to look down at Tosuka's determination.
何がおかしい。
なんだ、お前はおかしくないのか、雑種。とんだ三流どもだ。あの呪いの中を進むだと。
私の底を甘く見ないで。この程度の呪いで染まるほど弱くないわ。それにね、私たちはあんたみたいに反霊体ってわけじゃない。ちゃんと生身のある人間なんだから、むざむざ飲み込まれてたまるもんか。
It's an obvious bluff, but I'm sure that Tosuka will make it across. As she says, Tosuka Rin isn't so weak as to lose to that curse.
そうか。ならば好きにしろ。もっとも。俺はそんな真似は許さんがな。
トレス。
A sword shoots forward. The sword flies through. Excuse me, just had to suddenly sneeze. The sword flies through the air to pierce Tosuka's defenseless back.
Off.
And it is slashed down by Kancho. I breathe hard. I made it, even though I was prepared. This is the fastest projection I've ever done. It's probably thanks to Tosuka's magical energy. With this, I might be able to...
貴様。
Murderous rage fills his red eyes. The projection made him serious. The noble phantasms behind his back increase in number.
シロー。
I hear Tosuka's worried voice. I don't turn around, but stare at my enemy with Kancho in hand.
トサカ、シンジを頼む。
That's all I say.
任せて。すぐに連れ帰ってくる。
I hear a splashing sound. Tosuka goes into that mud without any hesitation. Then I'll protect her. I won't allow a single noble phantasm to get past me.
お前の相手は俺だ。トサカに手を出したかったら、まず俺を倒しやがれ。
I take a step forward. That must have gotten on his nerves. The golden servant takes his eyes off Tosuka and looks at me.
あの小娘はのたれ死に。俺が手を下すのはあくまで慈悲だったのだが。
The noble phantasms point at me. He lets out a sharp, murderous intent.
その前に貴様には思い知らせる必要があるようだ。薄汚い贋作者。その身をもって真偽の違いを知るがいい。
He releases his treasures unsparingly. The long sword slashes through the darkness. Saber has yet to be able to close in on her enemy that freely swings his longsword. Unable to dodge, she retreats. The distance between the two does not shrink. There is 1 meter between Saber and Assassin, but Saber is unable to climb the few steps. She bites her lip. She cannot waste any time. She surpasses him in power. She can overpower him if she uses her magical energy and her sword as a shield. Just 1 blow. She can overpower him if she can withstand just 1 blow. It can be her arm or her leg. If she does not allow the wound to slow her, there will be no second attack. She can surely slash Assassin after she receives his blow. But if the attack is to come for her neck, she cannot overpower him. All of the serpent's attacks are of that kind. All are meant to take her life. Retreat is the only defense against them. She cannot move forward because of the enemy's technique, and the geographical disadvantage does not allow her to move to either side. She cannot move forward because of those reasons. She must reach the temple alive. The two are fighting Gilgamesh even at this moment. They might die if she is late. No, in the worst case, they are already... She runs. She rushes upward, yelling as if to deny the ominous thought. The two weapons collide. For some reason, Assassin swings his sword not at the charging Saber, but at the swinging sword.
ほう、さすがはセイバーの剣。数回程度ならば耐えられると思ったが、一撃で曲がるとは。
Sparks fly off. The swords try to push each other away.
受けた。アサシンが私の剣を。
Assassin's sword is fragile. It is a good sword that can cut even steel, but it is made by a human. It cannot even be compared to her sword that is not made by men. His long sword would be pulverized if he used his power to strike back at the oncoming attack. That is why Assassin has parried the attacks and pushed back Saber by attacking her body instead of her sword until now. But Assassin blocked this attack. Assassin's sword cannot block Saber's attack no matter how strong he is. The long sword that blocked Saber's attack is bent. There's no way it's as sharp as it was before.
勝てる。無傷でこの男に勝てるのか。
Saber asks herself while she pushes back Assassin's longsword. That question becomes an opening. There is a reason why Assassin blocked her sword. She is standing in that position before she realizes it. Their positions are different. They are now standing on the same level. Before she realizes it, Saber has been forced to fight sideways. It is just like before. They are standing on the same plane. This is the position he needs to execute his secret technique. Assassin is able to execute his demonic attack here. Tsubame Gaishi. 3 arcing blades close in on the enemy from all sides, allowing no chance for defense or evasion. A chill runs up her back.
Assassin, 貴様。
Saber stops pushing. She can push him back. She can push Assassin back with her strength, then follow up with a finishing blow or run up to the mountain gate. But it will be the same either way. That attack will come the instant she pushes him away. It will end once he executes his technique. It does not matter if she runs up to him or if she turns her back and runs up the mountain. So she cannot push him. She can only loosen up and match Assassin's push.
良いのか、力を弱めて。これならば、私の方からお前を弾き飛ばせるが。
Assassin stares at Saber in satisfaction. There is no inhumane emotion there. The swordsman is just fascinated by her eyes, trying to find some way out of this hopeless situation.
このために自らの武器を傷つけたのか、アサシン。
無論拉致が開かぬのでな。これならば以前のお前に戻ろうと思ってな。果たし合いの最中に後のことなど考えるな。
She gasps. Assassin's words are not to insult her, but... The compound is burning. Sounds of swords clashing and breaking. It is the sound of battle between Gilgamesh and Emiya Shiro.
どうやら縁も竹縄というところだな。こんなところで門前払いを受けている場合ではないぞ、セイバー。
アサシン。
She puts power into her arms. She puts magical energy into her sword to push her enemy back. But she cannot do it. She will die once she does so. She will fall into Assassin's trap once she gets away from him. She grits her teeth in frustration. She puts magical energy into her sword without a plan. Then...
何を迷う。お互いやるべきことは一つだろう。
The swordsman's voice is clear.
アサシン。
もとより我らは役割を果たすためだけに呼び出された。私がこの門を守るようにお前にも守るものがある。ならば迷う隙などあるまい。それにな、セイバー。時間がないのはお前に限った話ではない。
There is no lie in those words. Those are the first and last true words for the swordsman that fulfilled his role as a fictional character. That he would like for the both of them to go all out on each other. The swordsman in front of her is telling her his only wish, his only compensation for being summoned in this world.
失礼をした。確かに、お互い時間はない。
She releases the magical energy in her sword. The merciless force pushes Assassin back. He slides back about 2 meters. Saber does not move, even though she is within Assassin's best range. She does not run up to the mountain gate, nor does she charge at Assassin. She releases the seal. Showing her sword, Saber confronts Assassin. There is no hesitation in her eyes. She will use all her powers if need be. Her eyes state that she will use all her strength to defeat the enemy in front of her. There is nothing to talk about now. The fictional swordsman readies his sword.
いざ。
He greets his greatest enemy with his strongest technique. She struggles through the sea of tainted meat. The lake isn't even a meter deep. Chunks of flesh carpet the bottom, so she only sinks up to her knees.
この気持ち悪いにも程があるってのよ。
She grumbles as she breathes hard. Every step brings a chill, as if she's treading on piles of insects. No, that's next root. If she stops moving, the taint on her skin begins to solidify and consume her.
もう、こんちくしょう。
She shakes it off with all her might and keeps going. It is almost impossible to keep wading through the rottenness while still keeping her sanity. After this, even slaughtering a cow shouldn't be a big deal. Tosuga Rin thinks so defiantly. So she's getting used to this work now. She is so tense that she'll stop moving once she stops treating this as work, but at least there's no mental damage this way. But she cannot endure it with just willpower. Her temperature rises with each step. The meat on her legs attacks her nerves instantly. Even if she flings it off, the poison has already entered her system. Curse. The malice is almost tangible, and it feels like a disease. One will get sick when touched by it. It taints the nerve, takes away energy, boils the brain, and kills within one step. A normal person would stop moving after 2 steps and would fall into the sea of decay. She does not know what would happen after that. She doesn't even want to consider whether she would be suffocated or absorbed into the poisoned flesh. Her mind is too overcome with heat even to think about it. She braces her staggering feet and keeps moving forward. Rin did not enter the pool of mud without a plan. She swallowed 2 jewels and is using all of the magical energy she saved up to defend herself. If this curse is a crystallization of pure magical energy, she should be able to repel it with strong magical energy of her own. Her vision wavers. Her guess was right, but her scale was off. The swallowed jewels are as good as a paper shield against the curse. This is not something a human can fight against. No human can ward off this curse. In here, one's belief in oneself is the only support of their life.
もうこれなら火の上に飛び込んだ方が涼しいのに。
With her jewel's protection, jumping into a sea of fire would be no problem. As soon as she complains, she gets angry at herself and sets her mind straight. It's not true. She cannot be complaining. She concentrates on the sounds behind her. She cannot see the 2 anymore. She doesn't know if Shiro moved the battleground away or if he's just cornered. Either way, it seems the fight has gone to the compound.
あと少し一気に行くからそれまで。
She runs. It's only as fast as walking, but she frantically moves her feet. She pushes her way through the tainted meat. Her breathing ragged, she reaches out. She climbs up. She can feel the mountain of meat.
なんかこっちのが楽みたい。
She lays on the pulsing ground. This feels even nastier, but the heat violating her nerves goes away.
ちょっとこれもしかして。
She puts her finger on the red ground. It is the same as the black mud, but it has form. It is something that should not exist in this world. Something that came out of the Holy Grail and took form using magical energy.
サーバント。これサーバントと同じなんだ。
She murmurs in blank amazement. She tries to think what this could mean, but then stops herself. This isn't the time. There's only one thing she must do right now.
よし、回復した。さっさとシンジを見つけて、こんなところとはおさらばよ。
She gets up and runs along the top of the mountain of meat. It is an island about 50 meters wide. She could not tell before, but this lumpy meat is intertwined.
いた。
Within it all, Mato Shinji is there, hidden amongst the flesh. I repel the oncoming swords. There are over 10 noble phantasms, and every one of them has been released to destroy me. I throw away the destroyed sword and prepare for the next attack. I catch my breath in an instant. I can't project with ragged breath, and I'll just be skewered if I don't have a weapon. This battle is not a battle against him. This is a battle against my body. I will die once the speed and precision of my projection goes down.
はっそうだ休んでいる暇はないぞ
In response to his voice, a straight sword points at me. The loaded noble phantasm is released at fatal speed.
トレス
Unable to deflect the full impact, I fall to the ground. I quickly roll to the side and get up, steadying myself.
どうした質が落ちているぞわずか一撃で壊れるようでは複製とは言えんな
He laughs. He's obviously enjoying this. There's no way for me to defend myself if he releases all of the noble phantasms behind him. But he releases them one by one, as if to test how much I can take. But that's what's keeping me alive right now. It's too hard to project a weapon after seeing it, even with Tosaka's backup. I can only imitate the shape. I can't construct the ability inside of it, so it gets destroyed with one blow.
やろうこうなんてどうやって
He said I'm the only one who can beat him. But this is all I can do. I can't rush at him after I block his attack. 2. I'll need at least 2 weapons. But I'm having trouble projecting one weapon, so it's impossible for me to project 2 at once.
どうした歯ごたえがあるのは口先だけかフェイカー
He must have liked seeing me roll around, as he looks delighted. I catch my breath. It's fine as long as he's enjoying this. There's still a chance for me to win.
トレス
I look within myself. A limited circuit. I mentally lay out as many blueprints as I can. I can see 17 noble phantasms behind him. I read the structure from its appearance, draw out the concept of creation, select the composition material. I vomit blood. It's because I'm putting multiple blueprints inside a circuit that usually handles 1 or 2. My nerves are bruised since I started projection, and my body is being destroyed from within. My throat tries to pump out the blood that is filling my stomach.
ひょい経験共感終了
I swallow it and continue with the process. Kansho and Bakuya cannot block his noble phantasms. Archer should be able to with his technique, but I don't have that much skill. There's only one way for me to block the noble phantasms. I need to offset them with the same exact ones. I still have enough magical energy. There's enough supply from Tosaka. But the circuit to channel it is about to break. The end is near. When he gets serious, I have to project the same number of noble phantasms as him to stay alive. But my body will die if I project that many.
工程完了戦闘へ待機
I save the overflowing images. The overflowing swords are ones that will pierce me from within. And Miyashiro will be pierced from within if the circuit cannot be controlled.
ほう今度は多いな101517そうか目に見える我の宝具を全て複製したわけかなめるな魔術師の手の内など看破できなくて何が英霊かお前に働く魔術の数などそれこそ手に取るようにわかる
His words are unexpected. The king of heroes that possesses thousands of noble phantasms can figure out my magic just by looking at me?
では採点だ もっともいかに成功であろうと一本たりとも世には残さんが。
My reaction is delayed. His words caught my attention, creating a hopeless delay. The 17 noble phantasms are released. King's treasures. A fraction of them charge in, as if to tell me playtime is over.
停止回答戦闘へ連続走者。
My body wavers. The swords shooting forward and the swords created from within me crash and shake the surroundings. I can't block all of them. Even if I project 17 noble phantasms, I can only give form to them one at a time. Even if I can form them in succession, I am no match for him as he can release all of them at once.
ガラス細工にしてはよく持つな。それもあと数撃か。そうだ、急いで真似ねば八つ咲きだぞ。
I hear him laughing behind the swords. 12 more enemy noble phantasms.
しかしことごとく好よな。俺には勝ち得ないと考え、聖杯だけでも取り外す判断は正しい。お前では我にはかなうべきもない。
My fingertips are burning. The magical energy I emit and the heat from the crashing noble phantasms burns my fingertips mercilessly. 7 more noble phantasms.
それならばあの男を殺してしまえばよかろう。聖杯を止めたいのであれば神事を始末することこそが確実だ。だというのにまだ救おうというその偽善、まさに雑種の具現よな。
It's burning out. My circuit is completely burning off. I don't have enough. I can't match this man with this small circuit. Why can't I block them? He said I can beat him, so why am I not even a match? Does that mean I'm making a mistake? 3 more noble phantasms. Will my body last until I block them? No, I should be thinking about the difference between my projection and Archer's. All senses freeze at that instant. I don't even pay heed to the 3 approaching blades. The golden servant is taking out a sword. A strange sword. My mind burns up the instant I see it.
女を救うと言ったな、小僧。
He laughs while the sword roars. I eliminate the 3 remaining blueprints in my circuit and concentrate on reading his sword. But
読めない。
I was able to read every sword, but I can't even read that sword's structure.
ならば見せてみろ。その贋作で一体何が救えるのかを。
A storm of chaos. The wind emitted from his sword even blows away his own noble phantasms as it comes at me. My mind is still blank. I can't come up with any countermeasures, so I just release the remaining magical energy within me. I will be right back. One moment. Okay, I apologize for that. I am back. Let's keep going. And the swordsman readies his sword. The only stance for the man who does not have a stance. A fatal technique that cuts his enemies by simultaneously executing blows from different angles. She has experienced the move before. The previous one only had an arc to surround his enemy and a vertical slash. That is why she was able to avoid it and live up to this day. But the real technique has 3 slashes. A circular slash and a vertical slash, and probably a horizontal slash that cuts anyone that escapes sideways. There is nowhere to run if the 3 attacks are executed all at once. Once in range, the other 2 attacks will cut you even if one is blocked. One cannot escape sideways, and the longsword will reach out even if one retreats. Demonic technique, Tsubame Gaeshi. A godly technique that even surpasses the servants. The ultimate attack, perfected by an anonymous swordsman using all his life. The longsword trembles. His body moves in with 1 step. The distance to attack Saber. Prison-like arcs are executed from a range that does not allow any defense. Saber does not use her holy sword. She cannot use her noble phantasm at this range. No matter how fast Saber may be, assassin Tsubame Gaeshi is many times faster. Her neck will be cut the instant she puts magical energy into her sword. Therefore, her only weapon is pure technique. The blade begins its arcs. She feels despair from its precision and speed. Such an attack. How much training was needed to get this far? Fear is the only thing on her mind. It cannot be blocked. This technique is a technique of carnage that challenges God with near-human skill. Only God would be able to block it. She gulps. There is a flash as small as a grain of sand. She does not think about what it is, nor if it is correct. She risks everything she has on her instinct. She charges at her victory with all her might. What did the fictional swordsman think of that? Silver armor passes through the gap beside his arm. The opening between the swordsman's left arm and his waist. Saber must have figured out that that small opening is the blind spot of the technique. Even though the attack still chips off her armor, Saber curls up and flies through the opening. An exquisite skill that is only possible with her precognition, her great instinct. She was able to predict the true Tsubame Gaeshi since she experienced it once. But that is not the surprising part. It is her determination that kept her alive. She trusted her insight and put all her power into the slight opening. She shook off the fear that she would be slashed if she was even a moment late and charged into the small opening. Therefore, her determination is the strength that defeated the demonic technique. But the match isn't over yet. Even though Tsubame Gaeshi was avoided, her enemy is right beside her, and she charged in with speed quicker than the attack. It is not easy to recover her stance from such a charge. The longsword strikes. The attack is the quickest, even if it may not be as quick as the demonic technique. But her attack is a bit quicker than his. He closes his mouth. He shuts his lips tight and tenses up so that he will not fall down. blood from his lungs fills his mouth, but he swallows it so that it will not spill out. The golden-haired girl is below him. The way of the swordsman does not allow him to dirty her with his blood. Saber does not say anything. Her golden hair flutters down to the ground. It is a wonder that her head is still attached. It is a miracle that her limbs are still attached. She felt that her body would be slashed the instant she went into that opening. That was the only difference. The long sword, the swordsman's technique, would have stayed invincible if his long sword had not been bent. The air is shaking. Another battle is still going on behind the mountain gate. Unsure of what to say, Saber looks up at the dying swordsman. To that,
Yuke.
the swordsman tells her without looking at her. How much meaning was contained in that word? Saber pulls out her sword and runs up the stairs. She does not turn back to the swordsman. She runs to fulfill her role.
美しい小鳥だと思ったのだがな。その実、獅子の類であった。
He murmurs as if that was to be expected. She avoided something that even a sparrow could not avoid, so she cannot be something that is admired.
女を見る目には自信があったのだが、どちらも修行不足ということか。
The swordsman complains with a shrug. His elegant clothing has lost its colors already. His stomach is pierced and his blood-stained feet are vague. He looks down at them and sits. The branches shake. The wind coming down from the top of the mountain rustles the forest. And when the flowers scatter, the wind stops and the moon darkens. The swordsman has disappeared without a trace, as if his existence was just an illusion. At that instant, I developed the strongest weapon I have projected, but it doesn't even serve as a shield. The Sword of Separation. The mysterious sword cuts through the wind, destroys 6 noble phantasms, and cuts my body apart. It's disappearing. The circuit is disconnected, and Tosaka's magical energy disperses without a place to go. I curse my worthlessness. I knew that I'm unskilled. I curse myself for never thinking twice. Why is this all the magical energy I have? Just a bit more. If I could reach into that darkness just a bit more, I could have fought like him. I fall to the ground. I fly through the air and crash to the ground with great force. I don't feel pain from the landing. I don't have such a sense anymore. Even my mind is going blank. Before I die, the only thing filling my head is the surprise that my limbs are still attached.
そこまでか。やはり偽物は偽物だったな。お前では何も救えない。
My heartbeat gets weaker. My lungs do not move, rendering me unable to breathe.
これならば、アーチャーが残った方が楽しめた。奴も贋作者だったが、その理念は俗物ではなかったからな。
Hello, Starly! Welcome, welcome! We are in the finale of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. I can't see anything, but it seems it's not because my eyes are broken. My organs are just too messed up to function as they should. Maybe it's fortunate. I don't have any sense of pain, so I should be able to die easily.
ああ、そういえば奴も言っていたな。お前の理念は借り物だと。自身から生み出したものが一つとしてない男が何かをなそうなどと。 よくも思い上がれたものだ。
I can't do that. Even if I might go crazy from the pain, I need to regain my consciousness. The deep part of me says so as it points to that place.
正義の味方？誰も傷つかない世界だと？おかしなことを。誰も傷つかず幸福を保つ世界などない。人間とは犠牲がなくては生を謳歌できぬ獣の名だ。平等という綺麗事は闇を直視できぬ弱者のざれ言に過ぎぬ。雑種、お前の理想とやらは醜さを覆い隠すだけの言い訳に過ぎん。
I raise my arm, which should not be moving. My fallen body and my dying mind. I raise my hand to grab something, like I did on that day. I don't know what's funny, but someone's laughing. It seems like everyone in this world is laughing. A fake wish. A borrowed ideal. Someone scorning me, saying that my dream won't come true. Yes, that's exactly right. My wishes are all borrowed. I just admired the wish of wanting to help someone because it's beautiful. So there's nothing that came from within me. My body has always been driven by a curse-like obsession with helping others. That's why it's a fake. Such an imitation cannot save anything. First of all, I'm not sure what needs to be saved. But I still felt that it's beautiful. It was not born from within me. I just saw someone save others and copied that behavior. I was empty back then. Everyone died, and I could not save anyone. I could not bear the fear in front of me unless I gave up, saying that humans are weak. That's why I admired the ideal. Because it was something I did not have, and its sanctity brought tears to my eyes. Is that wrong? Is it a fake if it's not mine? Even if my wish is fake, is it wrong for it to come true? Why is my cat meowing at me? No, I don't think it's wrong. I don't care, even if it's fake. I'll make it come true, even if it's an impossible ideal. Hi. What do you want? It's an impossible wish from the start. An unreachable utopia. Then, even if Emiya Shiro is a fake, what's there has to be true. I know that I can't save everything. I know that there's no help without sacrifices. I know that reality is like that because I became an adult. I know it's only an ideal, but I still continue to seek it. It's not the end after someone gets hurt. Even if the best possible outcome has someone get hurt to save many others, I still want to pursue a resolution where nobody is hurt. That there is no justice in this world, and that people die meaninglessly in reality, I don't think such words are right. And he reaches this place at the end. Hang on a moment. Again, I'm sorry. Okay, I think she just wanted up on the desk with me. She's fine. Okay. And he reaches this place at the end. What I believe in. What I believed in. He said that they are all a fake. But the one who said so followed through on his hypocrisy. Then I can keep going. I don't care, even if it's a fake. First of all, I'm too simple-minded to worry about such a thing. I make up my mind on this hill of swords. That if I can save the world in front of me, I will fight for it. I didn't even need to think about it. My world is small. This small world is all I have ever been able to create. That's right. This body of mine is made of firm swords. Yes, so I can endure most things. And Miyashiro can keep his dream until the very end. Even if what I seek is nowhere.
なんだ、それだけのことじゃないか。
I raise my body. I can move my limbs again as soon as my consciousness returns. My body still moves. It's a wonder that I'm still alive, let alone moving after his attack, but I don't care. If I'm alive, there must be a reason why. It's just that I don't know why.
直前に盾を敷いたのか。出し惜しんだとはいえ致命傷だったはずだが、存外にしぶといな小僧。
出し惜しみそんだけ山ほど持っておいて今さら何を惜しむってんだ。
I keep my distance while I catch my breath. I know how to do it now. I should be able to do it with the backup from Tosaka. The problem is the casting. Even though I have it memorized, I don't know how fast I can get it working until I try.
今のは覇者にのみ許された剣だ。強が乗ったゆえ見せてやったが、本来雑種などに使うものではない。エアと打ち合う権利を持つ者はセイバーだけだ。
Very funny of him to say this when I definitely use Aya to clear trash mobs in FGO.
お前のような偽物に使ってはセイバーに合わせる顔がない。
Numerous noble phantasms appear, but they are all third-rate. The difference is obvious after seeing that previous sword, but they are not something I can take lightly. They are more than enough to kill me. The difference in our powers is the same. Even though I managed to survive the previous attack, I cannot match that servant with my projection.
ほう、真似事はおしまいか。ようやく無駄と分かったらしい。ならば潔く消えるがいい。偽物を作るその頭蓋、一片たりとも残しはせん。
The noble phantasms are released. And here comes Saber. But a blue rushing wind repels them.
セイバーか。
Gilgamesh jumps back instantly. Even Gilgamesh is cautious against Saber. He wants to avoid hand-to-hand combat with her, as his technique is inferior.
よかった。無事ですか、シロ。遅くなりました。あとは私が受け持ちます。シロは離れて。
いや、ギルガメッシュは俺一人で何とかできる。離れるのはそっちだ、セイバー。
何を言うのです、シロ。その体で彼の相手をすると。いえ、そもそも魔術師ではサーバントには太刀打ちできない。それはあなたもよく知っているでしょう。
ああ、けど俺とあいつだけは例外だ。信じろ。俺はきっとあいつに勝てる。
Saber gasps. Saber is surprised because she believes my words.
セイバーは境内の裏に急いでくれ。遠坂が一人で聖杯を止めてる。けどあれを壊せるのはセイバーだけだ。
She closes her eyes once. A few seconds. No, it's not even for a second.
ご武運を。リンは私が必ず。
She says what I want to hear the most and steps away from Gilgamesh. Her silver armor turns away.
セイバー、
I stop her just once.
お前を救うことが俺にはできなかった。
And I say it. Cat walking across my keyboard. Please don't do that. Can I help you? You want down? This cat is impossible. I say it in place of the one who cared for her.
あの聖杯はお前が望んでいるものじゃないと思う。だからよく見極めておくんだ。次は決して間違えないように。
シロ。
ごめん、うまく言えない。俺はお前のマスターにはふさわしくなかったんだろう。だから。
I couldn't even figure out your true desire.
そんなことはない。シロは私のマスターだ。
セイバー、
サーバントとして責務を果たしてきます。伝えたいことはその後に。
She runs without turning back. She is gallant and looks like the wind. Saber has left. She believed in my promise that I would win and went to save Tosuka. Let's start. I have no hesitation now. All that's left is for me to defeat the enemy in front of me.
正気か貴様。ただ一つの勝機を逃し、あの小娘を助けさせるだと。たわけめ。自らを犠牲にする行為など全て偽りに過ぎぬ。それを未だ悟れぬとは筋金の入った偽善者だ。ああ、それだけは称えてやろう、小僧。
The noble phantasms are set. There are about 30 of them. If I want to block them, I'll have to create it.
贋作、偽善者か。別にそういうのも悪くない。確かに、俺はフェイカーだからな。
I raise my arm. I close one eye and look inside of me.
勘違いしてた。俺の剣聖っていうのは剣を作ることじゃないんだ。そもそも俺にはそんな器用な真似なんてできっこない。
That's right. Tosuka said it too. I can only use one kind of magic. Strengthening and projection are just a byproduct of it.
そうだ。俺にできることはただ一つ。自分の心を形にすることだけだった。
I grab my right hand with my left and glare at Gilgamesh.
体は剣でできている。
I cast the spell. Casting is only a suggestion to change myself. These words are to connect Emiya Shiro.
そうか。よまいごとはそこまで。
The numerous noble phantasms are released. I'll make it. This is why one of my eyes is open. I pull out a shield from the hill to block the oncoming noble phantasms. The swarm of swords batter against the shield. The shield is me myself. My body breaks up as each petal of the shield is pierced and damaged.
塩は鉄で、心はガラス。
There's only one place I need to reach. The flowing power fills me to capacity in an instant.
なに？
What caused his shock? Is it his noble phantasms that cannot penetrate through a single shield? Or is it the magical energy in front of him?
幾度の戦場を越えて腐敗。 ただの一度の敗走もなく、ただの一度の勝利もなし。
It breaks. The overflowing magical energy cannot be controlled. Magical energy 10 times the capacity of the circuit breaks its foundations trying to escape.
突破できん。
Blood trickles from my mouth. The shield is full of holes now. Even though the noble phantasms did not reach me, my body is full of holes. But still.
担い手はここに一人。剣の丘で鉄を打つ。
The magical energy rages around. But I don't care. This body is a circuit specialized to use this one magic from the start. Then there should be more. There should be something beyond this if I can't make it with this circuit. No, it is already there. It's just that I can't see it. There was no limitation to the circuit from the start. If it was darkness, not a wall, that stopped the magical energy, then the limit is somewhere beyond the darkness.
ならば、我が生涯に意味はいらず。
Magical energy 10 times the capacity of the circuit breaks its foundations trying to escape, and I use 100 circuits to take in 1,000 times the capacity.
この体は無限の剣でできていた。
I cast the true name. At that instant, let's go! Everything breaks and everything reforms. Fire runs. The fire becomes a wall and creates a border, changing the world. A desolate land remains. A hill with numerous swords. What does he think of the scenery? The golden servant stands there with a gruesome expression.
そうだ。剣を作るんじゃない。俺は無限に剣を内包した世界を作る。それだけがエミやシロに許された魔術だった。
A desolate land. A graveyard of swords, devoid of life. Every sword exists in this world, as swords are reproduced just at a glance. This is Emiya Shiro's world. A reality marble. It is the greatest forbidden magic that embodies the caster's internal world. This is heroic spirit Emiya's noble phantasm, and the only weapon I possess. Everything is here, and nothing is here. That is why this is called Unlimited Blade Works. This is the only definite answer obtained by the one who lived as a sword all his life.
こういう結界。それが貴様の能力か。
I take a step forward. Stuck in the ground next to me are the swords that are floating behind Gilgamesh.
驚くことはない。これは全て偽物だ。お前の言う取るに足らない存在だ。
I reach out my arms. The swords come out as if to accept me as their user.
だがな、偽物が本物にかなわないなんて道理はない。お前が本物だと言うなら、ことごとくを凌駕して、その存在を叩き落とそう。
I move forward. In front of me is the servant with 1,000 treasures.
行くぞ、英雄王。武器の貯蔵は十分か。
God, that's such a good line! Oh, that line is iconic. The CG is also iconic. So for anybody who doesn't know, a couple years ago, the Fate fandom started this tradition of Shiro Day. I can never remember what day Shiro Day is, because it's not like a significant day in any capacity, it's just a random day. Hold on, what is Shiro Day? When is Shiro Day? October 20th. So, October 20th is Shiro Day. It's just a random thing. Everybody changes their icons to this picture of Shiro, and everybody just, like, posts Shiro memes and acts like Shiro, and that's Shiro Day. It's a celebration of our beloved protagonist. And some people, like, redraw that CG as other characters and use that instead, and it's great. I love Shiro Day. The enemy opens the gate and readies numerous noble phantasms. I run across the deserted land. The two groups of swords start the final match. The first thing Saber sees after getting to the lake is a giant mountain of meat. She is not a normal knight. She fought many monsters back when she was called a hero. She has even fought dragons, considered the strongest of the fantasy races. But even Saber falters against the mountain of meat. It is not because of its ugliness. It is because she can tell that the lump of meat and the curse flowing out of it are the same as her. Or is that the power of the Holy Grail? She stares at it and shakes her head. She runs to the lake and yells to the other side. She is hesitant to enter the black mud. It is not because it would be unpleasant. Her instincts tell her that as a half-spirit, she cannot touch it. She hears a voice. It is weak, but she hears her master. She looks at the mountain of meat and... she steps forward without hesitation. Saber stops. She stops her feet and glares at the mountain of meat while holding up her sword. Saber cannot nod to her master's words. She can tell that the lump of meat is about to hatch. Ugh. The squirms are turning into throbs, and the mud is spreading ever further. The lake has turned black, and the mud is spilling onto the ground. That thing is growing. The world's restraining power will be activated if that thing is left alone. It is natural for her to destroy it with her holy sword. But to do that... Saber runs to the black mud so she can get to that lump of meat. But her body does not move. Her body stops when she tries to go near the lake. Oops. I keep accidentally skipping dialogue today. She sounds calm and composed, like always. But it does not need to be said that it is just a bluff. The island of meat on the other side, there is nowhere for her master to run. She murmurs while being surrounded by arms made out of meat. The situation is hopeless. Mato Shinji was saved. Ugh. She ripped off the blood vessels and nerves connected to the meat to let Shinji out. One can say he's alive, ignoring all the after effects he may have. No, he looks like he's just unconscious, so one could say that he is healthier than the girl carrying him.
問題はその後か。そりゃ心臓取られちゃ暴れるわよね。シンジを返せば見逃してくれるかな、これ。
She slowly moves while she stares at the tentacles blocking her way. But there is no exit. The tentacles are blocking the way out to the lake. Even if she escapes the tentacles trying to swallow her, she will not be able to get past that wall.
まず力が。
She almost falls along with Shinji, but she desperately keeps herself up. She went through the cursed sea and even performed neurosurgery to separate Mato Shinji from the mountain of meat. She went as far as using her reserve magical energy that she hadn't used for ages, but
もうあのバカ、遠慮なしで人の魔力持ってくんだから。おかげでこっちはもうすっからかんじゃない。
she bears the dizziness as she complains. But she's not serious. And it wouldn't matter even if she did have more power. The tentacles around her are not moving because their target is standing still. They should react right away once they find out that the thing in their body is poison. Tosuga Rin and Mato Shinji are alive because they do not have magical energy to be consumed.
けどここまでかな。いい加減立ってるのも辛く。
Her vision becomes hazy. Even though she has a foothold, she is still on the mud. Her nerves are getting further infiltrated with each passing second. She will become the new core of the Holy Grail if she falls down onto the meat. But before that,
ごめんねセイバー。言うこと聞かないだろうから無理やり聞かせる。
she has one more command spell. That's enough for her to order Saber to use her holy sword.
あとあんたにも謝っとかないと。信じ助けられんか。
いいから走れ。そのような泣き言聞く耳持たん。
She stops her collapsing body. That voice. The voice coming into her head is definitely that of the servant she has made a contract with. There's no time to waste. She knows his personality all too well. He told her to run, so he must have done something that she won't escape unless she does as she's told. She runs. The arrows coming down from the sky are literally a heavy rain. They destroy the tentacles, the ground, and everything in her path. There is no time to turn back. She runs full speed while carrying Shinji. She jumps into the lake. The arrows have swept the black mud away to make her an escape route. It is only for a short while, but there is only dirty water between her and the opposite shore. She runs across the lake while carrying Mato Shinji. She runs with all her might, mud splashing around her. Her magical energy replies to the yelling voice. There is no need to check. The golden sword mows down everything in its path with its overwhelming power. The mountain of meat is cut in half and breaks down. The black mud evaporates, and the light turns the lake into a flat field. It is a waterfall of light that eliminates everything. Bathed in the light, the swordsman accepts that her battle has ended.
これで終わり。私の戦いはここまでです。
Who did she say that to? The wielder of the holy sword is on her knees and watches the light with a flood of emotions. The Holy Grail is breaking down. The thing she sought, the thing that should have saved her. She destroyed it with her own hands and finally realized her mistake. One boy and one hero. The man that got twisted at the end of his ideal was still a boy. His regrets are so heavy that they cannot all be carried. His crimes are so deep that they cannot be atoned for. But there was something he did not give up on. The Knight in Red finally arrived at an answer at the very end. Then, she has to move forward as well. The end where she took her hands off of the sword. She will run past that hill under her own will.
契約は完了した。あなたたちの勝利だ、リン。
The holy sword fades away. She still has some magical energy left. She can stay in this world if she pushes herself. If she can, she would like to see what awaits them in the end.
ですが、それは私の役割ではない。シローにはリンがついていますから。
Her body continues to disappear, and the night vanishes from this world as if engulfed by the light. Like a brave gust of wind. The king that sought the Holy Grail sets off for the Hill of Destiny without leaving a trail of memories behind. I oppose the long sword with a long sword. The swords break each other and the shards are sent flying. A curved sword appears behind him. But I pull out the curved sword by my feet faster than him. And I swing it straight at him. Gilgamesh retreats. I close the distance at once, pull out a sword, and slash at him. I crash my swords against the appearing noble phantasms. I'm not thinking. My body and my mind will fail if I stop. That's why I will keep moving forward. The instant I see his noble phantasm, I reel in the exact same one and swing it with all my might. The sounds of swords crashing echo through the area. He cannot handle my attacks and has to destroy my weapon with his. That will be the cause of his defeat. He is the greatest heroic spirit, and as he has over 1,000 noble phantasms at his leisure. But he is only an owner. He does not have one weapon, so he is not a wielder who can use his weapon to its maximum potential. Even in this world, I am no match against any other servants. I cannot match the ultimate one even with infinite swords. Gilgamesh must have the ability, but I do not. Therefore, this is the only servant I can match. As we have the same ability, as we are both owners, I am always one step ahead of him since my swords are there, ready to be used. Gilgamesh raises his hands. The sword appearing behind him is the demonic sword, the only sword that does not exist in this world. swing my twin swords. The Kansho and Bakuya I reel in slice off Gilgamesh's arm that tries to reach for his sword. The weapons stop. His arm and sword fall to the ground, leaving him defenseless. My body acts before I can think. Confident in my victory, my limbs move to slash the King of Heroes. He jumps back. Barely avoiding the twin swords, Gilgamesh retreats still further.
今はお前が強い。
Gilgamesh admits his defeat and tries to retreat.
安かってんだ。
I won't let him escape. I'll lose if he regains his composure. I have to settle the match right here.
この野郎。
He must have realized he will not be able to escape as he pulls out a noble phantasm from behind him. But I'm faster. I'll surely.
何？
Our voices overlap. The change happens in an instant. The light coming from the lake illuminates the Hill of Swords. A great magical energy has smashed away the already disappearing reality marble. That's fine. The match is settled. I can beat this servant by slashing him with my twin swords. But after the reality marble is blown away, a black void. A void big enough to swallow a human being. It appears before me, right on Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh looks down at his body in astonishment. His body is being swallowed. The golden servant is swallowed by the void appearing on his body. Did he want to say, wait? The void mercilessly swallows the servant. There was no way for him to escape. The void was open on his body. There's no way one can escape something that is on their body. I stand there dumbfounded. The void in front of me is shrinking. I don't know what this is. But it seems Tosuka and Saber were able to destroy the Holy Grail? My only guess is that the after effect created the Black Void to eliminate Gilgamesh. Everything is over. My twin swords disappear. The magical energy in me fades away. And at the same time, fatigue assails me. I want to go see how Tosuka's doing, but my body will not move. Well, I'm sure she'll be alright since Saber went to go save her. I can rest a bit. And after I take a deep breath, a chain wraps around my arm. I gasp. The chain drags my body towards the void. I put power into my body, but I can't resist. My feet slide across the ground towards the void. He's appearing from the void, but his body has melted here and there. So that void must melt everything it swallows. I try to get the chain off of me, but it doesn't even budge. This chain even restrained Berserker. It's not something I can pry off. I'm being pulled towards it. I'll be swallowed like him if I go near that void.
俺がその場に戻るまでな。
こいつ
He's arrogant even in this situation. Oh, honey, he's always arrogant. But what can I do? I can't get this chain off of me. I'll be swallowed into that void along with him. Even if I hold my ground, he'll pull himself out. It means I'm going to die either way. Whoa, a decision. Hold up, let me check the flowchart. I don't quite remember. Okay. No way, I can't give up so easily. I feel dizzy. I can't brace myself anymore. I'll die. I can't endure it at the very end. Should I loosen up since I can't brace myself? If I do so, I should be able to push him back into the void.
なめるな。こんなことで道連れになんてされてたまるか。
I gather my courage. Will my arm rip off first? Will his chain rip off first? Or will he come out first? I don't care either way. I'll fight until the very end and die gallantly.
お前の勝手だが、その前に右に置けろ。
I turn around instantly. I look back at the compound, which has turned into a flat field. At the same time, something passes by me.
貴様。あちゃ。
The chain is released. Looking like he saw something unexpected, Gilgamesh lets go of the chain. I fall on my butt. I sit there dumbfounded, and the void shrinks and disappears in front of me.
今のは
I can't stand up, and I just look behind me to the flat field. Dawn is near. The one with the rising sun behind him is the knight in red.
あいつかっこつけやがって。
I complain without thinking, but I'm smiling happily for some reason.
まあ
I have nothing to say to him. I guess I'll stay quiet so I can sleep. A golden field that is now deserted. Seeing the knight standing there and Tosuga running to him, I lay on the ground. Tosuga should say everything I want to say to him. So I'll sleep for now. We'll end up fighting if we see each other again, and I'm not used to parting with myself. And for the final time, I engrave my ideal into my mind so that I won't forget it, and I close my eyes. The land below him is like a wasteland he once walked on. There is nothing here. There is nothing, as everything was blown away from the mountaintop. The battle has ended. The battle for the Holy Grail has ended, and the curtain is about to fall on his battle as well. He does not know how long it was, but the accumulated wish that should have bound him forever is gone now. The end quickly permeates into him and takes away his body's form. He looks towards the voice. She should not have the energy to run, but she's running with ragged breathing. He watches it in silence. The girl that ran up to him looks at the knight. The red cloak fluttering in the wind shows no trace of what it used to be. The cloak is cut everywhere, and his armor is cracked and torn. His existence is weak. Standing there haughtily, the knight begins to disappear from his feet up. The rising sun is in the distance. A golden light is emerging from the horizon.
残念だったな。そういうわけだ。今回の聖杯は諦めろ、リン。
He must not have anything special to say. The knight in red says trivial things. That gets to her all the more. A knight who is about to disappear is still acting like before. He is her partner that she spoke cynically with, ran through the battles with, and trusted her back to. She can declare that those days were fun. And it is still there before her eyes. He has remained in this world to save her at the last moment. He lost his master and received the King of Heroes' noble phantasms. His body was disappearing, but he did not come to her and ask for help, and he instead watched over this battle. And the end is in front of her.
Acha.
The girl cannot think of what to say. It is always like this for her at the most crucial times. She loses her cleverness when it counts the most. The knight smiles a bit. He knew that from the start. The clumsiness of the girl is a dear memory for the knight.
何よ、こんな時だってのに笑うことないじゃない。
She looks up at the knight.
いや失礼。君の姿があんまりにもあれなものでね。お互いよくもここまでボロボロになったと呆れたのだ。
He smiles while he talks. She gets a lump in her throat after seeing his regret-free face. The instant she wonders if he should really disappear.
あーちゃん、もう一度私と契約して。
She says something she shouldn't.
それはできない。リンがセイバーと契約を続けるのかは知らないが、私にその権利はないだろう。それに、もう目的がない。私の戦いはここで終わりだ。
His reply is free of doubt, and his will is strong. His face is as bright as the rising sun, and how can she force him when he's making a face like that?
けどそれじゃあんたはいつまで経っても
Won't be saved. The girl swallows her words and hangs her head. That is not something the girl should say, and it's not something that is solved by keeping the knight in this world.
まあ言ったな。この世に未練はないが。
It's troubling to have her cry. For him, the girl always has to be a positive, indulgent realist. He was always encouraged by her figure, so he wants her to stay that way until the very end.
リン。
The girl looks up at the voice. Her face looks cute, trying to hold back the tears. Rather than expressing the attachment he feels, he looks at the boy lying in the distance.
私を頼む。知っての通り、頼りないやつだからな。君が支えてやってくれ。
The knight says so as if it's somebody else's business. Those are words of parting. The future might change. If a girl like her stays with Emiya Shiro, the hero Emiya should not be born. His words contain such hope.
じゃあ
But even if it ends up that way, the already existing knight will forever be a guardian. The boy and the man are two different existences. They only have the same starting point, and he is an ideal that the boy dreamed of. There is no salvation available for this knight. There is nothing to give to him, as he has already died and become a phenomenon. She nods in spite of that. She cannot give him anything, so she will give him her best smile. He asked her to take care of him. She smiles so that she can answer the trust he put in her.
分かってる。私頑張るから。あんたみたいにひねくれたやつにならないよう頑張るから。きっとあいつが自分を好きになれるように頑張るから。 だからあんたも。
Forgive yourself. She does not put it into words. She looks up at the disappearing night with a flood of emotions. How much salvation did it bring? After engraving the girl's smile into his memory with pride,
答えは得た。大丈夫だよ、遠坂。俺もこれから頑張っていくから。
oh, there is so much in this one little moment. With his hair down and the smile, he looks just like Shiro, and he talks like how he used to in that line, and he calls her Tosaka, because Archer, he always called her Rin, but oh, I love Unlimited Blade Works. A breeze. The knight has finally rested his wounded body without waiting for the girl's reply.
なんだ、結局文句言い損ねちゃったじゃない。
She wipes away her tears and talks to the one who is not there. Her voice is clear, and the girl is standing firm again. It is only natural. She does not have time to be depressed after he made a face like that. She says goodbye to the ground that the knight was standing on and runs to the boy laying on the ground. Within the golden sunrise, the smile he had was like that of the boy. Epilogue. I sometimes recall the fight. The crying spirit and the sparks flying off the clashing swords. My attacks were immature, and it's not something one could call a sword dance. We were both clumsy and did not know of retreat. The ridiculous sounds of clashing swords were annoying, and I have no memory of them. At that time, I lost an answer and found an answer. So a plus and a minus makes a 0. Nothing has changed. He's him and I'm me. I'm just watching this fading dream. It's been only a month, but it feels so dear now. It seems like it happened so long ago. The memory of it is fading day by day, and I can't even remember what the person I was fighting looked like. But that is to be expected. That was something that was impossible from the start. We did not believe that the fight would change anything. We just tried to beat each other to ascertain ourselves. So there's nothing to gain from victory. There never was any such thing. The loser comes to an end, and there is no prize for the winner. Man, it really was good for nothing. But I can still recall it if I close my eyes. The echoes of unrefined metals. A dazzling, distant technique that knew no retreat. It was our beliefs that crashed against each other. I fought against my own ideal to carry out my hope. The result is not clear yet. I don't know who won, or which of us remained. It should be a while before the result becomes clear. An illusion like a mirage that disappears when one turns around. Only the reverberation remains, and my feet will eventually reach...
Kora, 起きんかったわけ。みんな集会に向かったぞ。学校に来ていながらボイコットするつもりか貴様。
My body is being shaken. The voice brings me back to reality.
あれ、なんで一星がいるんだ。
I raise my head and look at my classmate.
なぜなどない。ここは教室で。今日は2年最後の日で。時刻は終業式10分前だ。姿が見えぬからもしやと探しに来れば、 本当に居眠りしているとは呆れたぞ。
I don't know if he's in a hurry or just plain angry, but Issei yells at me. We're the only ones in the classroom. It's 9:50. The closing ceremony starts at 10 o'clock, so I bet everyone's at the gym already.
もしきちんと目が覚めているか、エミヤ。
ああ、今ので完全に目が覚めた。サンキュー一世。起こしに来てくれて助かった。
うん？分かればよろしい。だが礼は後だ。急がねば間に合わん。お前と俺が欠席とあっては、藤村先生がどんな暴れっぷりを示すか見当もつかんからな。
了解。明日から休みだっていうのに無茶な課題出されたらクラスのみんなに顔向けできない。藤姉をおとなしくさせるのは任された。
頼むぞ。これ以上宿題が増えれば皆に顔向けができないどころか間違いなく呪われる。
He sounds scary, but the frightening truth is that it's very possible. The extra homework she gave us last summer after we got her mad was ridiculous. It wasn't even English homework. What was she thinking when she told us to enter any competition to win a medal?
エミヤ、急げと言っておろうが。
あれ、すぐ行く。
We should hurry to the gym for now. It only takes 3 minutes if we run. We should make it 5 minutes early if no teacher finds us.
いや、それはダメだ。廊下を走るのはいかん。
Should have known to expect that from the student council president. I was too optimistic. As expected from the student council president, he is really committed, as he is still following the rules even now.
立派だ、一世。けど、歩いてたら間に合わないぞ。
走らぬ程度に急ごう。何？1分前だろうがなんだろうが、間に合いさえすれば言い訳は立つ。
I nod and walk faster. We are in the middle of March, and the sky is amazingly blue. Fuyuki City has long winters, but spring is finally around the corner. The days went by quickly. It's been a month since the Holy Grail War. The city is back to normal now. The Holy Grail has been destroyed, and most of the damage caused by the Masters was taken care of by the church. The person that came as a replacement for Kotomine is old but energetic, and everything was smoothly settled. But one can see the after effects of battle here and there. Kazuki Soichiro, the person that chose to fight as a master, is considered missing. Issei was sad that the one who he treated as his older brother was gone, but
元からひょろりと寺に現れたゆえ、去る時もこんなものだろう。
Issei just laughed it off. The surprising thing is Fujine, and it turned out that they often drank tea together. She complained that she wanted to fight him once, so it seems Fujine knew that Kazuki was a master of martial arts. Shinji's life has been saved, thanks to Tosaka, and he's currently in the hospital. I guess the hospital is part of the Magic Association, and he's getting better. Sakura is busy visiting Shinji, so she's been showing up at my place only on the weekends. I went to check up on them once, and they were getting along surprisingly well. I don't know if that event took something out of him, or if he's just unenergetic from the wounds. Either way, Shinji is ironic but honest, and he's acting more like the Shinji I first got to know. Saber is not here anymore. She left this world after destroying the Holy Grail. Something constraining her must have been released when she destroyed the Holy Grail with her own hands. It's vexing that I could not say goodbye to her, but I should be glad that she's freed from the binding of the Holy Grail. If I do ever see her again, I want to thank her as much as I can. So, and finally, the most important person.
で、遠坂。
right after we get down to the first floor.
あら生徒会長、こんな時に校舎の見回り？それとも各部室の手入れかしら？毎度のことで言い飽きたけど、そういうところ本当にマメなのね。
We meet up with the person representing the students at the closing ceremony, who's coming out of the teacher's office.
こちらもその言い回しには飽き飽きだ。たまには違う憶測を立ててみろ。それとも貴様、よもやわざと繰り返しているのではあるまいな。
Issei glares at Tosaka.
そんなの当たり前じゃない。何？今まで気づいてなかったの？そうなんだ。もう少しユーモアのある人だと思ったけど、本当に堅物だったのね。ごめんなさい。今まで親愛の情を込めて同じ挨拶をしていたけどあなたには分かりづらかったんですね。
何が親愛だ。お前に向けられる親愛など覚えがない。行くぞエミヤ。ネギツネに構っていては式に遅れる。
Issei sure doesn't get along with Tosaka. Well, I feel the same way, so I'm in no position to feel sympathy. So, our eyes meet as I walk past her. We decided to act normally when there are people around. I naturally ignore Tosaka and follow Issei. But...
おはようエミヤくん。今朝も元気そうで嬉しいわ。
I don't know what she's angry about, but she embraces my arm and puts on a big smile. My head goes blank. It's because even though we've been seeing each other, this is the first time we've touched each other in a month.
Tosaka.
I
try not to blush as I bear the sensation of her touch.
冗談よ。けど嬉しいのは本当よ、エミヤくん。そうだ、式が終わって生徒会の手伝いが済んだら一緒に帰りましょう。私、あなたが来るまでずっと教室で待ってるから。
She's so evil. Tosaka puts emphasis on keep on waiting.
何を口にするか貴様。とっととその腕を離さんか。
何って竜道くんには関係ないでしょ。それじゃあ失礼。生徒会長に代わって挨拶をしなくちゃいけないから私も忙しいの。
Tosaka leaves, leaving behind the footsteps of a victor.
どういうことだエミヤ。貴様、あのメギツネとどういう関係だ。
いや、どういう関係って言われても困る。大体遠坂と知り合いになったってのはかなり前に言ったと思うが。
そんなものは1ヶ月も前の話だろう。悪いことは言わんから手を切れと忠告したはずだ。そうか、弱みだな。あいつに弱みを握られたのかエミヤ。
まあ弱みといえば弱みは握られてる。
やはりそうか。くそ、己遠坂、もはや捨ておけん。さあ相談しろエミヤ。今すぐ白状しろエミヤ。で手を合わせて今日こそあのメギツネにブツバツを下してやるのだ。
Issei shakes me.
イセ、時間、終業式始まるぞ。
みじんも構わん。どうせ初めは気圧のざれ言。少々遅れた方が精神衛生上よかろう。
The student council president keeps shaking me. Issei is normally calm, but his personality changes when it involves Tosaka. Tosaka must be his natural enemy, but...
悪いイセ、士気が上がっているところすまないが、俺じゃ遠坂をどうにもできない。やっつけに行ったら逆にやっつけられる。その悪いことは言わないから、あいつには近づかない方がいい。
エミヤにしては後ろ向きな発言。まさかそれほどの弱みを握られているというのか。
残念ながらそんなわけなんで、遠坂退治は一世一人に任せる。辛い戦いだとは思うが、俺の分まで頑張ってくれ。
そうか、分かった。 安心しろエミヤ。より良い学園生活のためだ。何としても遠坂の化けの皮を剥いで失脚させる。ネギツネめ、運動系の部活動を束ねて何やら企んでいるようだが、あと1年もすれば生徒会も盤石だ。本当の勝負はそれからよ。
The student council president smiles in anticipation. But Issei, well, I'll be graduating in a year. The ceremony comes to an end, and the school starts to lose its liveliness. Spring break has started. Most of the students have left with a smile, and the students in athletic clubs are getting ready for their training camps. There aren't that many students left in the building. All the classrooms are empty and the hallways tinted red.
やっと終わったわね。一世のやつ、最後まで四郎に手伝わせるんだもの。あれ、絶対嫌がらせよ。
An empty classroom. Tosuka smiles and says so as soon as she sees me coming into the red-tinted Class 2A.
バカ、遠坂がおかしなことするからだろ。そっちが余計なこと言わなきゃもっと早く解放されてたんだ。
I complain as I go into the classroom. Why is it so awkward to go into someone else's classroom, even though they all look the same?
何よ、私のせいだっていうの？四郎は。
半分は間違いなくな。いいか、いきなり仲良くなると変に思われるから3年まで知らないふりしようって言ったのも遠坂だろ。なのになんであんなことしたんだよ。
今日で2年も終わるんだからちょっとぐらいフライングしてもいいじゃない。だいたいね、無視するにしたって他に方法があるでしょ。昼休みにすれ違うのならいざ知らず、私たちしかいなかったんだから目配せの一つぐらいするのが筋ってものよ。
I don't know why she's unhappy, but Tosuka looks away and complains. Is it because of the evening sunlight? Her familiar gesture looks so fresh and cute that I'm fascinated.
まったく。ほら、もらい物だけど飲むか。
I show her the orange juice that was distributed among the helpers.
もらうもらう。やった。シロってこういうところは気が利くのよね。
She receives the juice box and takes a sip out of the straw. She's sitting by the window. She looks down at the campus as if she's watching something bright. I follow her example and look down as I drink. It must be the track team that's running. They sure are energetic running like that when spring break starts tomorrow.
ねえ、エミヤくん。昔陸上部にいなかった？
Then, Tosuka suddenly asks me a strange question.
陸上部？いや、俺は昔から弓道部だけど。
そっか。まあ、そういうこともあるわよね。夕焼け見てたら思い出しちゃった。
Telling me to forget about it, Tosuka continues to drink the orange juice. I'll forget about it if she wants me to. When she calls me Emiya-kun, half the time she's going to make a sarcastic remark, and the other half she's going to say something really important. I'm sure in this case it's the latter. After a month of studying magic under her, I'm finally starting to recognize her habits.
にしても、あっという間だったな。聖杯戦争が終わって、シロが私に弟子入りしてもう1ヶ月か。なんか、この分じゃ1年なんてすぐに過ぎ去るわね。
It's been a month since Tosuka started teaching me the basics of magic. I've been busy with hard work and Tosuka's malicious nature, but she's right now that I think about it. This past month sure went by quickly. So I'm sure a year would pass by in a flash.
1年か。その頃にはこの学校ともお別れだな。
そうね。この教室は今日限りの教室で、4月になったら新しい教室になる。それと同じで、1年後には違う場所に行くことになるんでしょうね。
Tosuka holds her knees and looks down from the windows. Or from the window. What will I be doing a year from now when I graduate? No, I don't even need to think about it. There's only one thing I must do. I need to make my ideal come true, just like he did. And, well, there is one other big goal right now, but I don't want to think about it since it's irritating.
ねえ、エミヤ君は卒業したらどうするの？やっぱりお父さんの後を継ぐの？
いや、そうだけど、後を継ぐっていうより早く一人前になりたい。そうじゃないとカッコつかないだろ。
へえ、カッコつかないって誰に？
She smiles as she asks. My other goal is to make her admit defeat.
別にいいだろ。とにかく俺の急務は一人前になることで、そのために遠坂に弟子入りしたんだ。あと1年よろしく頼む。
あら、随分と強気ね。あと1年で一人前になろうだなんて。私10年ぐらいは覚悟して師匠役を引き受けたんだけど。そっか、エミヤ君はあと1年でいいんだ。
10年？それは嬉しいけど。いや、そうじゃなくてえらく気の長い話じゃないか。それ1年ならともかく10年なんて遠坂も疲れるだろ
う。別にエミヤ君の目標が一人前になることと同じで、私のしたいこともあなたを早く一人前にすることだもの。頭の中じゃちゃんと計画立ってるわよ。
いや、
Well, that's great, but
けどそれも無理かな。エミヤ君、お父さんの後を継ぐんでしょ？なら卒業した後もずっとこの町にいるってことよね。
そうだけど、そういう遠坂はどうするんだよ。遠坂の家は冬木の管理人なんだろう。遠坂だってこの町から離れられないんじゃないのか。
私は卒業したらロンドンに行くけど、今回の件で魔術協会から推薦も取ったし、試験なしで入学させてくれるらしいわ。
ロンドンって魔術協会の総本山のあのロンドン？
ええ、冬木の町じゃ限界があるし、5年ぐらいは時計塔で勉強しようかなって。父さんもそうだったって言うし、魔術師として一人前になりたいなら最高学府に行くのは当然じゃない？
I'm stunned. It's so sudden that my head blanks out. It's natural for Tosaka, who is a legitimate magus. I finally realized the difference in our positions.
ロンドンか。それすごいことなんだよな。
それは微妙じゃないかしら。悔しいけど私本人の力を認められての正体じゃないわ。父さんの功績もあるし、今回の件だって単に最後まで残ったからだし。
She speaks casually, but I'm sure it's an amazing thing. But London, huh? That's certainly too far away. My father wasn't in the Magic Association. I'm just like him, and I don't like formal stuff.
でもそれを言うならエミヤ君にだって資格はあるわ。私が推薦すれば入学試験ぐらいは受けさせてもらえると思うけど。
But I might be able to move there. I can start working more, study English, save up traveling and living expensive, and find a job over there.
エミヤ君にとって教会は敵地だから乗り気はしないだろうけど、時計塔ならちゃんとした道具も揃ってるし、修行にはもってこいよ。でも固有結界は秘密にしないとダメだから、あくまで基礎力の試験になるのか。1年で足りるかな、時間。
No, let's say I am able to rent an apartment there. I don't know what kind of a place the clock tower is, but I'm sure Tosaka will get even busier. Then it should be better for me to go there after I become a proper magus myself. Yeah, that sounds good. First of all, London isn't suited for me. I bet I'll faint if I go there and it's filled with people like Kotomine.
ちょっと、人の話聞いてる？エミヤ君。
なんか言ってたのか。
Tosaka frowns and shuts her mouth. So, After taking a deep breath, she makes a serious face and...
言い忘れてたんだけど、私は遠坂の後継者として招かれてるの。つまり一人前の魔術師としてちゃんとした一人部屋をもらえるってこと。
She says something strange.
だから一人前の魔術師として認められているの。そうなると弟子の一人や二人はいて当然でしょ。ほら向こうじゃ派閥争いもあるっていうし、一人ぐらいは弟子を連れて行ってもいいんだって。
Tosaka sneaks a peek at me.
それは
I may be blunt, but I know what Tosaka is trying to say. In a word...
そうよ。世話係としてなら身内一人ぐらいは無条件で連れて行けるみたい。それなら試験を受けることもないし、学費も何もかも免除になるわ。まあ扱いは教会の学徒だけど、教会には属さないっていう損な役回りになっちゃうんだけど。
My head resumes its thinking. No, I force it to start working again. What Tosaka is telling me. I put every cell in my brain to work to weigh the options I have. I must look funny as Tosaka is giggling.
なんだよ。俺は別にお前の言葉に踊らされてるんじゃなくてだな。
Sure, you're not.
言いたいことはそれだけ。私はロンドンに行くけど。
She looks kindly at me. Then Tosaka makes a mischievous expression.
ねえ、シロはどうするの？
She asks me gently, with eyes that see through me. My face turns red. Her words and expression blow away my humility and my dislike of the Magic Association. This is what I mean by Tosaka holding my weakness. I can't help it if I fell in love with her.
あら、突然だんまり？私、答えを聞いてないんだけどな。
She keeps smiling mischievously. She knows what my answer is, but she's mercilessly attacking me.
だから俺は
To be honest, London is too far away, but I can't imagine myself being taught by anyone other than Tosaka, and I never even thought about parting with her. Most of all, I want to be with Tosaka.
もう、大事なことなんだからはっきり聞かせなさい。世話係になっちゃうけど、私と一緒に行ってくれる？
She looks up into my eyes. She looks so attractive that I feel like my heart will pop out of my mouth.
うるさいバカバカバカバカ大事なことならもっとちゃんとした場所で言えってんだ。いきなり言われて口にできるか。
I don't know what'll happen to me if I keep staring at her, so I look away. I still feel Tosaka's presence. She's happily watching my reaction.
ね、シロ。答えは？
She murmurs gently. She's got me beat. Is it this hard to nod and reply honestly? But I can't turn around unless I say it to her.
バカ、そんな分かりきったこと聞くな。
I meet Tosaka's gaze and tell her my honest opinion. Her smile broadens at those words.
じゃあ、これからもよろしくね、エミヤくん。あなたが一人前になるまで遠慮なく鍛えてあげるから覚悟なさい。
そっちこそ言っとくけど本気にしたぞ。こうなったら一人前になるまでちゃんと面倒見てもらうからな。
もちろん。シロを真人間にして思いっきりハッピーにするのが私の野望なんだから。ロンドンに連れてくぐらいで値を上げられちゃたまらないわ。
Where did her previous prettiness go? She says so with a daring smile and jumps off the desk. The sunset should end soon. Spring break will end, April will come, and another year should pass by quickly. We will part with this scenery until then. After a year, Tosaka and I will spend our final days of student life here.
帰りましょう。今夜はエミヤくん家で賑やかに晩ご飯にするんだから。
we leave the classroom without any lingering memories. We can still hear the club activities from outdoors. The sounds are far off, and they remind me of the sword fight. I can't stay in the same place forever. Tosaka and I will be going someplace different in a year. It should be a while before I find out if it is the right choice or not. I recall that red figure one more time. Neither this classroom nor that fight will change. Everything is the same. Everything is an illusion, like a mirage that disappears when one turns around. But I can get there if I aim high. I will surely be able to catch up to his back with Tosaka's help. So I'll come up with an answer at that time. The swords that echo far away. By relying on those sounds, I shall eventually reach that place. Walking with the wind blowing on your face, walking towards the future. Busy days with no compass to guide you. After traveling to distant exotic countries, you will return to where you belong, one sunny day. And that is the end of Unlimited Blade Works, my favorite of Fate Stay Night's 3 routes. It's so good. It's so good. I hope you all enjoyed it too. So, next week we will be starting Heaven's Feel. Heaven's Feel is Sakura's route, and I will make a community post about this on YouTube as well, and probably put content warnings in the stream titles and stuff. But it is very important to know that Heaven's Feel is a lot darker than the previous 2 routes. It will get into some very, very heavy topics. Again, I'll make a post going a little bit more in depth later. But yeah, if you decide to come into those streams, do so with care. Viewer discretion advised. Heaven's Feel is very good, but it is very, very not for everyone. What else? So, tomorrow we should be doing Grand Blue Versus, probably wrapping up the main story of that. I might wind up pushing it back a little bit later than normal, though. We'll see. I've got a bunch of stuff that I'm planning to do tomorrow. Is there anything after this? Answer. Oh, so there is. That's right. What came and went were distant memories. They were signs that he forgot and cast away, something that cannot be returned. The sparks of the crashing swords, crashing spirits, many dozens of unskilled attacks and defenses. They were clumsy attacks that just tried to deny each other. Why did such a thing revive a worn-out oath? They were impossible attacks. His charging body is covered in wounds. His fingers are broken, his limbs are slashed apart, his breathing has stopped, although the boy does not know it. Even at a rush, his speed is trifling, and his attacks are mediocre. Although he has absorbed his combat skill, his techniques are now as clumsy as an amateur's again. His attack is executed haphazardly, but his attack is heavier than any that came before. There is no superhero. The boy's mind is obliterated by the one who grew to realize that fact more than anyone. The distorted mind should collapse from the stress. It is obvious that the boy will be devoured by his contradiction. But where are the signs of his defeat? He moves his wounded body and steadies his faltering mind, but there is no hesitation in his attacks. His fury is incomparable to before. The boy swings his sword recklessly. The attacks are equally matched. The space is filled with sparks, and everything entering it will be cut to pieces. It is the embodiment of their minds that melt together even though they repel each other. The desperate attack. It is only a dying spark that a man gives off in his last moment. The boy gasps with each attack, almost falls, steadies himself, and attacks yet again. Seeing it, he is confident that his enemy has no power left. The boy in front of him is a corpse. But why is there infinite power in his arms holding the sword? He sees an illusion. It must be because he got bored with seeing someone attacking even though he knows it is useless. The irritation boils up his most detestable impulse. What did he feel was beautiful and noble? The boy said that he does not want to see people die meaninglessly. He wanted to save everyone who was in trouble if they could be saved. It is out of the question. He knows such a wish is just meaningless hypocrisy. An ideal where others are more important than yourself is an ideal that should never be held. But did he ever not dream that such a life would be wonderful? He cannot hear what his enemy is saying. His enemy's voice is too weak to be heard, but his attacks are fierce. The enemy's hands are already one with the hilt. It must be to fix the sword there, but the impact will go to his body like that. The boy is covered with blood, and he will die if he retreats. For the boy, every attack comes with great pain. The voices are hard to pick up. The boy, who is on the verge of death, frantically opposes the impediment in front of him. He does not need to be told where the boy's motivation is coming from. It is a bad dream. He is shown an old mirror image. He keeps swinging his sword with tearing arms. The only thing there is a strained yell. There were people that could not be saved, and there was him who could not save them. He saw people dying meaninglessly, and he swore never to let such a thing occur again. There is only one thing that comes and goes through his mind. Things he believes in. Things he believed in. An ideal he swore never to surrender. Something he will never surrender. And so, he realizes that there will be no end to the attacks. This enemy will not stop. The enemy will never stop on his own. Even though the boy is attacking with all his power, he is taking no notice of him. The boy is only trying to slash himself, the one who obstructs himself. His enemy is fighting for the things he believed and for the things he will keep on believing in. Realizing that, he grits his teeth. The boy keeps challenging even though he knows he cannot win and that it is meaningless. That is the exact mistake he made. But then, why? Why do those eyes keep on staring at him? Another crashing sound. The attack is parried. The enemy that could not block any attacks repels the attack like nothing. The mirror breaks. He is not strong. He is not strong at all. He fights risking his life, looking ugly and miserable. But who in the world can laugh at him? He stops his breath. Parrying the oncoming attack, he readies his sword again. A final blow. Will the boy stay standing in spite of all his wounds and the strain on his mind? Of course. The boy overcame such limits 10 times. It is obvious that the enemy will not stop even if this attack is blocked. The boy slashes his sword even though he is collapsing. Those eyes. They are looking straight at him. He sees a familiar dream for an instant. Whose dream was that, and who inherited that dream? The boy's voice reaches the empty mind. A single scenery closes in. What an ugly, fanatic goodwill. A beautiful ideal to struggle for. The final blow is coming in, but the man does not watch the sword that is about to pierce him. That is the only thing on the boy's mind. Even if his heart is a fake, the beauty of what he believed in is real. That is something he cannot lie about. And it is the origin of his powers. The boy cries out with a smashed throat that he wants everyone to be happy. Yes, there is no road of retreat. Because the dream is... He has made numerous mistakes. He had no way to atone for them except for hating and killing himself. His hands are covered in blood, and it is something that can never be forgiven. But still, a straight gaze, mistakes and lies, shaking off everything, running on without stopping. The battle ends with a victory. The pain in his chest does not lift up his conviction. As the man hates himself, salvation will never be given. But he earns a small answer. The answer is only for this summoning. It is a meaningless thing that he will forget the next time he is summoned. But there is nothing to regret. It is something that has already been built up, something that the boy will build using all his life. There's only one thing coming and going through his mind. There is regret. He does not know how many times he wished to redo things. Heroic spirit Emiya will forever curse this end. But still...
それでも俺は間違えてなどいなかった。
There is nothing to talk about. The boy will remain, and he will leave. The only things that remain are the exchanged blows. The path is long. Relying on the sounds of the swords echoing far away, the boy heads for the deserted plains. And that is the end of Unlimited Blade Works. Okay, sorry, I forgot there was that little bit at the end. But yeah, like I said, next week we'll be starting up Heaven's Feel. It's a lot darker, so review at your own discretion. Tomorrow we'll be doing Grand Blue Versus, probably finishing up the story mode in that. Yeah. So, thank you to everybody who stopped by. I hope you have enjoyed Unlimited Blade Works, and I will see you all next time.